Hi, valued viewers and listeners. Mark Kentwell here, founder of Presence Real Estate. And today, as part of Presence Pulse, I'm going to be unpacking pre-market listings, otherwise referred to as off-market listings. I'll go through those two definitions with you. I'll talk about the value of powerful pre-market for all stakeholders, being vendors looking to sell, buyers looking to buy, agents, the industry, the tech players, the lot. Stay tuned. Let's start with how pre-market came about in the first place. Originally referred to as off-market. And look, let's be open about this. The vendor set the terms of sale. So it's always the vendor deciding they want to go about it this way, but it's often influenced by a purchaser or an agent. So an off-market listing in the modern definition is when you've got nothing listed and a purchaser wants to purchase a particular type of property. The agent plays matchmaker because they may know of a vendor that may consider selling. They might have done an appraisal there in the past. They might just know the owner. They might have had the property described to them as the purchaser. Now in Australia, there is mostly sellers agents, and we're seeing a growing number of buyers agents and advocates. Some countries, there is up to 90% transactions used by buyers advocates in certain areas. With the pre-market or off-market listing, you've usually got a purchaser that has a specific intention and the agent goes and finds that client. Now, there is some legislation around having an agency agreement, a contract for sale, and a couple of other things like that in a lot of states of Australia, so keep that in mind. So if someone wants to sell a property in this environment, it may well be because, from a vendor's point of view, they value discretion, or their home's not ready to go to full market yet. They might be still doing cosmetic tidy-ups. They might not have considered selling in this time frame. They might have been thinking about it in 6 months or 12 months, but if the right price comes along, they might consider doing it now. Or there might be a really specific purchaser that has a really specific type of property that they're looking for that the vendor's home actually matches, and they might not be as worried about getting work done to it or the cosmetics of it. Now, the agent will often be doing the introducing on this basis, and once they've got all the appropriate paperwork involved, they can take that purchaser through. If they agree on price and terms, that deal can go ahead. So why would a vendor do that instead of going to full market? Well, as I said, they might not be ready to go to full market. They might not want to spend the money on marketing to do that. They might have a time frame in mind with specific terms of sale, like they might want 12-month settlement or 6-month settlement, so they can lock in today's price, go shopping with the proceeds, and then know that they can simultaneously settle in the future. They might value discretion. They don't want all their neighbours or the community to know their property's going on the market. They might still have works underway. There's so many reasons why a vendor might want to do this. But how does a vendor know that they're getting access to the best buyers in the market? Well, that's something I'm going to unpack with you further. From a purchaser's point of view, why would a purchaser go through a pre-market listing? Well, it does depend on the purchaser's intentions. If they've got a very specific brief and there's not a lot of those properties out there, it would make absolute sense to go through that property before it goes on the mainstream market. They may also have asked the agent to go and find that listing or to go through it that way. They may have stayed in touch with an agent and the agent has said, when something comes up, I'll match you up. Or the agent might be working with someone that they've got listed as a home seller, and that sale won't go ahead until the client actually finds a property. So you can see that there could be mutual benefit here, but it's got to be done the right way if we want to optimize the outcome for all involved. CRM system here at Presence Real Estate. Now, we've got the names blurred out for privacy reasons, but we are actually inside the agency CRM. Over to the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see I have just highlighted that there is 227,446 contacts that are on this system. They've all been through a Privacy Act compliant process and meeting all of the regulations. This has been gathered over a long period of time. As I said, our database started in 2005 and we were gathering information properly then. Now, it does take a long time to get the information in, get it corralled in there properly with all the right details, and then go into what's called buyer match criteria for a purchaser. Now, most CRMs have got the capability to do this, but it does take a lot of human labor. And now, even though technology's come a long way and there's artificial intelligence that can help speed this up, there still needs to be business systems in place for that. As you'll see here, we've got the ability to match up suburbs. So I could put in, say, Merriweather, and that suburb will come up. And then we've got a price range that that person is looking from and to. They can put minimum bedrooms, bathrooms, all that sort of stuff. And you can even put subcategories in there around whether there's views, whether it's a house, all of that sort of stuff. Most people just want to match on suburb and price. So this is up to the agent or their administrator or their assistant or someone handling their data for them, along with combined technology. It's the agents and administrators' responsibility, along with the technology, up to date. This can take a lot of labor to do this because profiles change all the time of what purchasers are looking for. So buyers will often drop off or stop looking at the alerts because they're not appropriate to them. That's something that needs to be sorted out right from the start in the business rules. I would urge any vendor thinking about selling pre-market to ask for a demonstration of what purchases are on the database. I've added in a search filter here of $1.5 million, assuming we've got a listing in Merewether worth around $1.5 million. We're looking for purchasers that have that amount to spend or have indicated they'd like to keep an eye on properties in the market for that. When we apply that filter and we look up the top, we can see that 11,657 people in our database have that budget in their search requirements, but we haven't gone into suburb yet. We now add Merewether and we filter. And you'll see up the top here, we've got 2,493 contacts that have wanted to keep an eye on properties in Merewether for $1.5 million on the Presence Real Estate VIP buy match system. Now, advanced CRMs and advanced business practices will also segregate buyers to hot, warm, and cold. So if we put hot and warm, hot being ready to sign a contract straight away when they see the right property, warm meaning they might need an event to happen, like finance being formally approved or their house sale gets finished off or something like that. We'll actually just go hot for the sake of this because it's pre-market and the vendors only want really genuine purchasers coming through that can make a quick decision and aren't going to be wasting time or spreading the news too wide. You'll see we've got 153 prospective purchasers ready to sign a contract on a $1.5 million listing in Merewether. So how do you get on there if you're a purchaser? Well, our Presence Real Estate agents are constantly offering people the opportunity to be informed of properties before they hit the mainstream websites and to be notified this way, which can be by SMS, email, or phone call. Now, if they have specific criteria and they have a specific budget, they have specific suburbs, that makes the job a lot easier for the agent to filter it down. Now, the vendors, how do they benefit from this? Is it the whole market seeing it or just some buyers in the market? Well, it's definitely some buyers. But remember, these prospective buyers came off other campaigns. There was big marketing campaigns on many properties that have gone through. So the greater the volume of the agency and the greater the number of real estate agents servicing the greater region, the better chance you've got of having prospective purchasers on the system, as long as there's been the right labor applied to outbound phone calls, text messaging, technology anymore either. So as a purchaser, what you can do is make yourself as ready to go as possible. Have a solicitor ready to go. Be ready to look at contracts quickly. Have your finance pre-approved. Make sure the agents know this and make sure the agents know you can move quickly. State the sort of terms that you need as well, whether you need a long settlement to allow you time to sell your property or get your affairs in order. Let them know whether you need the property to be spanking new or you're happy to see it when it's not quite ready for market. And sometimes with pre-market, you need to be a bit flexible on price as well, because sometimes the vendor will only sell if they get a certain price. But if it's the exact property you want, the vendor might get a higher price than if they went to market through all the rigmarole, and the purchaser might get the exact property they wanted if the agency has this set up the right way.